Hello, everybody, and welcome here up at BSN Network. Today is Wednesday, April 13th, coming off another big night last night in the world of sports. Yankees and Mets were able to both get wins. Were both able to bounce back from their losses. Obviously, the Yankees lost on Friday or on Tuesday or Monday, I should say. They lost on Monday, got shut out at home, and the Mets blew it on Monday night as they lost 5-4, allowed 5 runs in the bottom of the 8th. Their bullpen blew it, but both teams yesterday were able to bounce back, and both the Yankees and the Mets were both able to pitch shutouts. Yankees won 4-0, and the Mets, I believe, won by a score of 2-0. So both the Yankees and the Mets pitching did well. Nasty Nestor yesterday for the Yankees looked good, and for the New York Mets, Tyler McGill yet again pitched another great game. And that's 2 times now early in the year. First time was against a Nationals team that's in a rebuild phase, and yesterday's against a good Nationals team. And right now the Mets are up on the Nationals at the time I'm doing this podcast. But tonight the Yankees, third game of the 4-game set tonight. You got Derek Carr on the mound versus Jose Berrios. Both pitchers looking to bounce back after their kind of rocky opening day starts. Jose Berrios, his opening day start wasn't even able to get through the first inning. Cole had a rocky first inning, was able to, was able to finish things out and pitched well from there on out. But you hope that, Cole can have a nice performance today against a good Blue Jays team. And then tomorrow, if you get the win today, you go for the series win 3 out of 4 tomorrow. So, Mets today go for the series win against the Phillies. Game 3 of the 3-game set. Yankees today, third game of the 4-game set against Toronto. Today and then tomorrow will be the final game of the series before they head out to Baltimore for a weekend series Friday through Sunday. And a lot to get to today in the podcast. Nets also got the win last night against the Cleveland Cavaliers, so the Nets are moving on. Beat the Cavs last night 115-108. It was a really, really, really big victory for the Nets. It was kind of what I expected. Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant kind of dominating. Bruce Brown adding in some little extra boost. And the New York why did I say the New York Nets? And the Brooklyn Nets are moving on. So the Nets now await the Boston Celtics, 7 seed versus the 2 seed. That series, game 1, is Sunday, 3:30 Eastern on ABC. So super pumped up for that series. That should be a good one. Hopefully the Nets pull that one out, and it's going to be a tough series. No doubt about it. It's not going to be easy for the Nets. But if we play like we have been playing, they finished out the season 4 straight. Now they win again last night. You gotta like what you're seeing with the Brooklyn Nets, and as long as they limit the turnovers, get off to quick starts, the Nets can take care of business. It's just, they're gonna have to do a lot right, and the Celtics are a team that do not leave much room for error. So Nets are gonna have to come out and be on their A game throughout that series. So let's get to the topics for today's podcast. As I talked about too, Rangers lost last night. Islanders were able to get the win. So, tough night. Like I said, the Rangers, it's a good Carolina Hurricanes team. Chris Kreider scored his 50th goal, which is just a great season by him. Third player of the season to do that. You obviously have McDavid, Austin Matthews, and then Kreider. So, something special for Chris Kreider, a milestone, historic, something that you don't see too often. So, 50 goals this season, but I think we just have to get to reality. The Carolina Hurricanes are just a better hockey team, and they're one of the better teams in the league. And I think we're gonna have to get to the reality of it's looking like it's gonna be a Rangers Penguins first round matchup, and I'm okay with that. I think the Rangers match up well against the Penguins, so we'll see. So tonight, though, Yankees are on. Mets are on right now. I can give you an update. Right now, the Mets are actually winning 4-1. So the Phillies were able to get a run across. Mets are winning 4-1. Yankees tonight against the Blue Jays as well. Rangers second half of back-to-back tonight, as they will be in action against the Flyers in Philly at Wells Fargo Center. And like I mentioned, Nets will be back in action on Sunday, as they will start up game 1 of the 7-game series. Best of 7, game 1 will be on Sunday against the Celtics. So a couple days off for the Brooklyn Nets, which is good. Rest up, get ready to go for what should be an exciting series against the Celtics starting in Boston on Sunday. All right, so let's get to the topics for today's podcast. We're going to roll with a 2-topic show today. Two football topics. I know it's, a lot going on with baseball, but we got two football topics today that I really wanted to get to, and I'm going to start to get into the NFL draft and really start to take a deep dive into that with my schedule being the way it's been and with me being able to only do podcasts here and there. This week I'm able to do a podcast every day, but I've really wanted to take a deep dive into the draft. Now, today is going to be two other topics, not about the draft, but it is two football topics. We're going to start off with Derek Carr getting an extension from the Las Vegas Raiders. Derek Carr has agreed to a 3-year, $121.5 million extension. And through all the rumors, through all the possibilities, Derek Carr is staying in Vegas, and he's going to stay with the Raiders. I know a lot of, there was trade rumors, there was possibilities of him going elsewhere. All that being said, he is staying in Vegas and will be the Raiders quarterback for the next 3 seasons. So we'll get to that, talk about it, and if it's a good deal for the Vegas Raiders, and yet again, why this tells us all why the AFC West is the best division of football. We'll get to Deebo Samuel. I want to get to him, his ongoing rumors, starting some social media stuff on following the Niners. Do the Jets have a legit opportunity, and should the Jets go all out for Deebo Samuel? I'll get to that, and then we'll get to the New York Sports Update, finish it off, like I said. Rangers second half of back-to-back today in Philly against the Flyers. Nets, like I said, got off until Sunday when they start up their series against Boston. And Yankees on tonight, third game of the 4-game set, and the Mets rubber match today going on right now. They're currently winning 4-1 in Philly before they have a day off tomorrow. Then they'll start up a weekend series on Friday at home against the Diamondbacks to start up their home opener. So a lot going on, a lot to get to. And with all that being said, this is a BSN podcast, and let's get into it. Alrighty, so Derek Carr agrees to a 3-year, $121.5 million contract extension. You have heard that right. The rumors, all the possibilities, all the different scenarios. Is this it for Derek Carr? I feel like this has kind of been an ongoing story because, in a way, I feel like the Derek Carr rumors and the Derek Carr, storyline, the headline saying, oh, is this Derek Carr's final year in Vegas, and is he going to be a Raider for life? What's going to happen with him? Does he deserve all this money? In a way, it's been that way, and for a long time it's been, and it seems as if the Raiders, it seemed at times the Raiders were going to go a different way, and it seems at times they were going to extend Carr. And then we kind of got to the point where last season they got to the playoffs. It was a first-round exit, and you kind of wonder, with a new coaching staff coming in, new pieces to the organization, new GM. They obviously got rid of Gruden in the middle of the year due to some, with the emails and stuff that went on with him. And then they got rid of their, GM Mayock, and it's kind of like, with Derek Carr and all the moving pieces that has gone on in Vegas, the one piece that has been there all along has been Derek Carr. And through all the ups and downs, through all the other roster movements, it's been Derek Carr. And there's been a lot of rumors. There's been a lot of possibilities. There's been a lot of people that have been straight up critical of Derek Carr and saying he does not deserve a big-time deal. And there's been a lot of people that say he does deserve a big-time deal. And there's also people out there that, can see both sides of it. And they could also see if a trade partner comes available, you could always get rid of him. But through all of that, through all those rumors, through all those possibilities, through all those, different scenarios that could have went on, and through all these situations with the roster in Vegas and the Raiders and coaching change and GM change and front office changes, organizational structure and all that, and pieces around him changing, Derek Carr has kind of been the one constant piece there in Vegas, and they extend him. So it's a 3-year, $121.5 million deal, and now he's going to get the chance to team up with, McDaniels and as the new coach there in Vegas. And there's obviously some, there's obviously some hope and some, high expectations around Josh McDaniels, given this is his second time around as the head coach. His first time in Denver didn't go as planned, went to New England, learned a lot of stuff off of Belichick, kind of got, back to normal there, was good as an offense coordinator with Brady, and now he's here, and now he's here with the, and now he's here with, the Raiders, and it's kind of like a fresh start and a fresh beginning. And for the Raiders organization in general, it's kind of like a fresh start, fresh beginning for them. And Derek Carr stays. And look, the Raiders have a very good piece, and they have a lot of good pieces. And, they have a lot of really good pieces. They have Josh Jacobs in the backfield, who, when he's healthy and when he's out there and when he's playing at a high level, he's a very good player. Now, recently he's been struggling a little bit. Health's been a little bit of an issue, but when he's healthy, we all know why he was a first-round pick, and we all know what he's capable of being a really solid asset at running back. So you hope that he stays healthy. You add on the big deal of Devontae Adams, and then you have obviously Hunter Renfrow, slot receivers, a nice, kind of a little bit of a, quick, fast, he's small guy, can get around, kind of a guy to take the attention off of Devontae Adams. Has been a nice piece for them, and you have one of the better tight ends in football in Darren Waller, and now you bring back Derek Carr. So Josh McDaniels, in a way, this is a big win for him because he's inheriting a very solid roster with a lot of good pieces, and the Raiders have kind of really built around Carr, and I feel like Derek Carr in his career has not been a dominant player. He hasn't been a top 5 quarterback. Top 10, debatable. I probably would leave him out of the top 10. I would say he's more top 15. But he is getting top 10 quarterback money. And he's getting surrounded by weapons. I mean, he's got the best receiver in the league that's going to be playing with him. He's got one of the better tight ends in the league that's going to be playing with him. He's got a backfield with Josh Jacobs, who, when he's healthy, has a ton of potential. So, they threw all the money out there. He takes it. And it's almost like now the Raiders are going all in because they went all in for Devontae Adams. They went all in now on Derek Carr. They brought in Josh McDaniels, who has a winning background in New England. This is kind of like, I feel like, a big signal caller to the rest of the NFL that the Raiders, they made the wild card last year, and they got to the postseason, so it wasn't like they were rebuilt. The Raiders are going all in. They want to win. They want to go all out. They want to win a championship. They want to bring a Super Bowl to Las Vegas, and they want Derek Carr to be hoisting up that Lombardi trophy come February. So this is a big step in that process. This is a big step in that direction. For the Las Vegas Raiders and for Josh McDaniels and company to get a deal done like this, because like I said, it's a lot of outside noise, it's a lot of different scenarios, all the possibilities that could have happened, and through all that, they obviously see a belief in Derek Carr. Now, like I said, Derek Carr is not an elite quarterback by any means. He's not an elite quarterback. I've always said that. I've always kind of stood in the middle when this Derek Carr stuff happens. I've always kind of stood in the middle of whether or not he's a legit guy, whether or not he's a really good quarterback, whether or not he deserves, a bunch of money, like $121 million plus, whatever. I've always kind of stood in the middle of where I could see both sides of it. My opinion on this deal is, like I said, I think this is, to the rest of the league, this is kind of a warning sign that the Raiders are going all in. Because they went all out for Devontae Adams, gave him a big contract. They already have Darren Waller. They already have Hunter Renfrow. And now the other big question mark was what they were going to do with Derek Carr. Whether or not he was going to be the quarterback, whether or not he was going to be playing under his old contract, or he'd get the big money. And he gets the big money. So it is a sign to the rest of the league that they're going all out. And in a stacked division like the AFC West, where you already have Patrick Mahomes, you already have Russell Wilson, you already have Justin Herbert, now Derek Carr's there. He's locked up and he's staying there for the next 3 years, and he'll be earning $121.5 million. This is kind of, I think, just the stabilizing of this roster. Like, boom, we got a firm roster, and now we're going all out. In terms of the money wise, I don't want to say it's an overpay, but it is a lot of money. It's a high risk deal. It is a high risk, high reward. It's not a low risk deal by any means. The way I see this and the way I judge this, and I was talking to somebody about this earlier, it's a high risk, high reward move. That's my personal opinion on it. I don't think it's an overpay. Maybe a little bit, but not by much. Because look, the league that we're in now, big time quarterbacks are going to want big time money. He got the Raiders last season through all the uncertainty to the postseason. That's big enough. But it is a high-risk deal because Derek Carr, like I said, is not your Patrick Mahomes. He's not your Josh Allen. He's not your Josh Allen or your Patrick Mahomes or your even like a Justin Herbert kind of level player. He's a solid, very good quarterback, or he's not like a Russell Wilson or some of those guys, or any of those players out there, or what Joe Burrow was able to do this season. But he is a solid asset. So it's a high-risk, high-reward deal. He is 31 too, so you're giving a big contract to a guy. He's 31, so that's kind of the high reward part. Is he is 31, so you get him for 3 years. It's not like you went all out for him and gave him a 7-year deal and it's going to be leading up to his 38. He is 31, so you probably have the final 3 years of his prime. The biggest high risk thing with me is if he gets this big deal now and he's kind of still at, he's kind of just because he's a solid quarterback. He had a really good year last year. He had a career year. It's like but if he drops back down to kind of that other level of being average, it could be a little bit. But like I said, the high reward is you get a guy who last year threw for 4,804 yards and had 23 touchdowns and had a rating of 94 and he took a team with all the moving pieces, with all the issues surrounding that team. He took them to the postseason. And they lost to the Bengals, who got all the way to the Super Bowl, ended up obviously losing to the Rams. So that's your high reward. But your risk is you get the 19 touchdowns, 10 pick Derek Carr, who barely surpasses 4,000 yards. So that's kind of the one thing I've always said. But his past 4 years, he's been over the 1,400 yard mark. And another part of the high reward deal is he's actually gotten better. In 2018, he had 4,049 yards. 2019, he had 4,054. 2020, he had 4,103. And last year, he exploded for a career high 4,804. So if he continues to climb, continues to get up there, he's a solid quarterback. And he has solid quarterback numbers. But if it does get back to the 19 touchdown, 10 interception Derek Carr, that's where it gets into the risky zone. But like I said, he's been there his whole career. He got them to the postseason last year. And you're solidifying your quarterback position in a division that has 3 other very good quarterbacks in Patrick Mahomes, Russell Wilson, and Justin Herbert. 2 of them have already gotten their big payday. Herbert will be waiting for his big payday very soon. I could see Herbert, if he has a big year this year, I could see Herbert getting his payday very, very soon. So, good move for the Raiders. It's a high risk, high reward. But when you go out and pay $121.5 million for a guy in any position, any guy, there's going to be risk factors to it. But your reward is you get a guy who is more than capable of getting to a team to the postseason, and he proved that last season. That was one of his biggest issues. Can he get the team to a postseason? He did it last year. So Derek Carr extends his stay with the Raiders on a 3-year deal, $121.5 million. So the Las Vegas Raiders are staying the course. The team and quarterback Derek Carr have agreed to a 3-year deal, 3 years, $125 million contract that ties him to Las Vegas through 2025. NFL Network's Ian Rappaport reported Wednesday. Carr, 30, looked like a future star after excellent seasons 2015-2016. He was a potential MVP candidate in 2016 before a broken leg in December of that season ended his campaign. The Raiders made the playoffs that year, but missed out on the postseason in the 4 seasons that followed. Carr often didn't resemble his former self, with a lack of weapons in 2018, threw for 4,049 yards, 19 touchdowns, and 10 picks. That was not a great year, like I said, was mentioning earlier. Completing 68.9% of his passes. His touchdowns were at a career low, and his 73.2 grade at Pro Football Focus ranked just 21st among quarterbacks. But he was better in 2019, throwing for 4,054 yards, 21 scores, and 8 interceptions, completing 70.4% of his passes. His former head coach, John Gruden, offered him a vote of confidence in February 2020. This is what Gruden said: "I really think Derek is a heck of a player, and I got a lot of respect for what he has done with some tough circumstances," he told reporters. "So I'm not going to answer every media rumor out there. I just can't do it. I'm just going to listen to my serious rock and roll classic station and keep working. But I love I love what Carr did, love what he brings to our team, and anxious to continue to build around him." Carr finished the 2020 season with 4,103 yards, 27 touchdowns, and 9 interceptions. Arguably his best season since 2016. That performance wasn't good enough to lead the Raiders to a postseason, but he ended the drought in 2021 by guiding the team to a 10-7 record. Carr threw for 4,804 yards, 23 touchdowns, and 14 interceptions, while completing 68.4% of his passes in a season that saw the team experience significant turmoil. Gruden resigned over the release of offensive emails he sent prior to taking over as Raiders head coach for the second time in 2018. Receiver Henry Ruggs, one of the team's 2020 first-round draft pick, was released after he was charged with DUI, resulting in the death of a 23-year-old. That was the incident. That was the incident where he got arrested in. It was the horrific. I think he was going 100. I don't know exactly how he was going hundreds, and he was drunk driving, and he hit somebody, and he got arrested, and now he's going to be in prison for a long time. But that on top of Gruden, on top of there were some other issues, a lot going on, but he was still able to get them there. The team came up short in the wild card round against the Cincinnati Bengals, but Carr's performance was a big reason they made it to the postseason. Carr offers the Raiders a new head coach Josh McDaniels' experience and a solid, if unspectacular, resume. If he maintains his level of play from the past 2 seasons, his extension will look very smart for the Raiders. Like I said, if he maintains that play for the next 2 years, it'll be great. But if he's back to the form that he was, where he was 19 touchdowns and 10 interceptions, that's not $121.5 million worthy. But, I mean, that's the risk the Raiders are willing to take, and in a division where they have, Mahomes, Herbert, and Wilson, who is the newly acquired quarterback, obviously, that the Broncos got on a trade with Seattle. You got to make sure you solidify your quarterback position, because the only way you're winning that division is if you have a solid quarterback. So it makes sense to solidify it. And after an offseason trade for Davante Adams, his former college teammate, he'll have one of the best weapons in the NFL to throw to this season. Staying the course always made sense for both Carr and Las Vegas. So he gets weapons, he gets the big payday, and the Raiders solidify their quarterback. All the rumors, all the possibilities, all the changes, all the different things that could have went on. Derek Carr is going to be a Raider for the next 3 years. And that is going to be an amazing, amazing division to watch this year. I can't wait. And I cannot wait to see that division this year. It's going to be a lot of fun. Looking forward to it. And I'm just glad that the Jets are not in that division. Because when you're trying to build a foundation, when you're trying to build a team, you don't want to be put in a division with 3 or 4 star-studded quarterbacks. So, you know what I might do when the season starts? I might do a quarterback power rankings just for the AFC West. It's probably Mahomes 1, and then the next 3 is debatable. You could go on and on and on with it. I'd probably go Mahomes 1, Herbert 2, Wilson 3, Carr 4. That's just me. I think a lot of people would go, I could see a lot of people going Carr 2, Wilson 3, Herbert 4. I could see people going Wilson 2, Carr 3, Herbert 4, Wilson 2, Herbert 3, Carr 4. I would say this. If I had to do it just now, raw, just raw knowledge of how the quarterbacks are, I'd probably go ahead and say it's Mahomes, Herbert, Wilson, Derek Carr. And I would be willing to switch Derek Carr and Russell Wilson, because Wilson the past 2 seasons has been a little rocky. But Carr has been much better the past 2 years. So it's whatever you take. It's kind of whatever you want to look at. So it's going to be a fun division, really fun division. And the fact that all these teams get to play each other twice, I mean, it's going to be a lot of fun. And, you're going to see a lot of good games. You're going to see a lot of good matchups. You're going to see a lot of stars. I mean, there's a ton of stars. You have Davante Adams in the division, Russell Wilson, Derek Carr, Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, Keenan Allen, Travis Kelce, Darren Waller. You go to the Broncos, you still have, Judy, and you have Sutton, and, just a ton of good assets. And, Eckler and Keenan Allen, in Los Angeles with the Chargers. I mean, there's just so much good talent in that division. That division went from being dominated by the Kansas City Chiefs and the Chargers kind of being like on the outside. That division went from dominated by the Kansas City Chiefs and the Raiders and Chargers kind of be on the outside with their own little battle, to now all of a sudden having all 4 teams have really legit chances of winning the division. That might be what I'm most, outside of the Jets, because I'm always excited to watch the Jets. I'm always pumped up for the season. Outside of that, I think this upcoming year, that's probably what I'm most excited to watch, is the AFC West unfold. That's going to be a fun division. And I don't think it's going to disappoint either. Like, I know a lot of people say, if you hype everything up, I don't think it's going to disappoint. I mean, a division with 4 top 15 quarterbacks, you can make the argument they're all top 10. I don't know if I would say Derek Carr's top 10, but that's an argument different. That's a different argument, different day. But you could say there's 4 quarterbacks in division. All 4 of them are top 10 QBs. I mean, that's not something that you see too often. So Raiders solidify, bring in Carr, or extend Carr, I should say, for another 3 seasons, and Carr will now be getting ready to go with Davante Adams and company in Las Vegas, and we'll see what the Raiders do in the draft, if they make any moves and continue to solidify their roster the rest of the offseason. So that's what I got for the Las Vegas Raiders. We're going to go out to the NFC West, talking about the West teams today. Deebo Samuel, 49ers, looks like they're not willing to give him the money he wants. Deebo Samuel seems a little bit frustrated, and the rumors are swirling. Could the New York Jets be involved, and should the New York Jets pull the trigger on Deebo Samuel if the Niners want to trade him, and if the Niners decide to trade him, should the Jets pull the trigger? I'll talk about that and much more coming up next. All right, so welcome you back here up at the BSN podcast today, Wednesday, April 13th. By the way, found this was interesting. So Clayton Kershaw was throwing a perfect game through 7 innings, and the Dodgers took him out. So he got taken out of the game, and he had 7 perfect innings. So kind of shocking. I think David Roberts is a great manager. I understand that. I understand that there was. I understand it's the 5th game of the season, and I think it's his first start. But when a guy's throwing a perfect game, you don't take him out. I mean, if he's rolling, he's cruising, you don't take him out of the game. I don't care when it is. That's history. That's going into the record books. That's starting off your season with a perfect game. I wouldn't do that. So I like Dave Roberts a lot. I think he's a great manager. But that actually frustrates me a little bit, because why would you take a guy out through 7 innings when he's cruising, throwing a perfect game? Why would you do that? I don't think that was right. Now, they are winning 6-0. So you could make the argument the other way. I strongly disagree with the other argument. I would not take a pitcher out if he's throwing a perfect game. I don't care what game it is. I don't care. No hitter, maybe. No hitter, that's another thing. If he's got like 85 pitches through 5 innings and he's throwing a no hitter and it's the 3rd game of the season, I could see that, because it's a no. Not saying no hitters aren't as special, but it's like no hitters are still a special thing. But if you have 85 pitches through 5 innings, and if you have 85 pitches through 5 innings, you're throwing a perfect game. I'm rolling it out there to you. Now, a lot of times you probably wouldn't, because you wouldn't have to work that hard if you're not letting up base runners. But I disagree with that. So, and I'm actually kind of upset with that, because I like Clayton Kershaw a lot, and I would have loved to see some early season history from Clayton Kershaw. So very shocking. And it looks like the Dodgers. There was a hit. There was a hit that there was. I guess the bullpen let up a hit. So reliever let up a hit. So the perfect game, combined perfect game, whatever you want to say, is officially over. So lasted a couple minutes. Anyway, we got to get to some football. Second topic here is Deebo Samuel. And obviously rumors and all that stuff has been swirling around the world of sports and the world of football about Deebo Samuel. And like I said, I in sports, look at rumors sometimes, and I read into them, and I look a lot into them, and there's times where I see rumors and it's kind of like, all right, I'm going to let this one slide. This is something that doesn't seem really like it's going to happen. And there's other times where you see players taking legit action. You see the organization, actually saying they're not going to give a guy money or not going to trade this guy or do whatever. And you're like, okay, I believe this is something that's really starting to play out. And the Deebo Samuel and San Francisco 49ers situation's really becoming a very interesting situation, and really becoming something that very soon could turn into a blockbuster deal that's involving Deebo Samuel. And another thing I want to say too before I start this, I'm a fan that, I do buy into things. I do at times buy into things a little too much. I do at times get a little too excited. I'm very excited about this, because even the possibility of the Jets going out and making a trade for Deebo Samuel is just crazy to me, that the Jets are in this position where they can make one of these moves and bring in a star-studded player like Deebo Samuel to build around Zach Wilson. Not saying it's going to happen, not saying I think it's going to happen, but I would love it to happen. I would love to bring him in. But before I start all that, right, this is all rumors. This is all stuff that's going on. Now, Deebo Samuel deleted everything from his Instagram about the Niners, deleted his profile picture. Right now, his Instagram page is just like Deebo Samuel, and it seems like he's legitimately frustrated with, it seems like he is frustrated. It seems like he is frustrated with the Niners. Now, whether you want to go down the road of the social media stuff, whether you want to go down the road of the social media stuff, or, the Niners actually not paying him, or whatever road you want to go down, whatever road you believe, the fact is there is a legit chance that Deebo Samuel wants to get paid, and if he doesn't get the big money from the Niners, there could be some turbulence between him and the front office if a deal doesn't get done. So now begs the question, not just the Jets, but all the other teams in the leagues and the other teams that might be interested, do the Niners even talk about trades with other teams, and do the Jets pull the trigger? Now I'm going to start right here. Do I think he's going to get traded? No, I don't. He's 26 years old. He's coming off of an amazing season, an MVP caliber year in which he was dominant in the receiving game. He was dominant in the rushing game, was a huge part of their team, both rushing and receiving. Without him, that offense would not be the same. And if they are planning on completely moving to Trey Lance, you want to have a solid piece like Deebo Samuel to have around Trey Lance. And like I said, he's going into his 4th year in the league. He's 26 years old. He's got such a bright future ahead of him. It's not like we're talking about a guy that's 36 years old and coming off of a down year, and now he's asking for a lot of money. This is a guy who's only going into his 4th year, and he's 26 years old, out of the University of South Carolina, and the impact he had last year on that Niners team, I don't think they trade him. But if they do, the New York Jets absolutely have to pull the trigger. And I do believe that if they do decide to trade him, Deebo Samuel, because they can't get to a deal, and if the frustration that Deebo Samuel has shown on social media, now Kyler Murray deleted everything Cardinals from his thing. A week later, he had it all back up, and everything was all good. Deebo Samuel did as well. Second from, today he could pull the ball back up and say, we're all good. A lot of times players do that to grab attention, to maybe show the organization that, look, they're not playing around, they want to get something done. But if they do decide to move on from Deebo Samuel, whatever it takes for the New York Jets, to a certain extent, they got to go all out. Now, like I said, I did not expect the Jets to go all out for Tyreek Hill. I did not expect the Jets to get Tyreek Hill. When the opportunity arose, I was really happy that Joe Douglas showed some aggressiveness. I was really happy that he went out and gave it a shot. If it came, the Dolphins wouldn't, the Niners or the Chiefs accepted the Jets deal, but Tyreek Hill chose to go to Miami. So that's the reality of it. Tyreek Hill chose to go to Miami, and the Chiefs did accept the deal. So you wonder if it would be the same situation with Deebo Samuel. But if you're the Jets and if you're Joe Douglas, the fact that he did go all out for Tyreek Hill, and the fact that he did go all out and showed that they want to bring in another big-time asset, if Deebo Samuel comes available, Jets have to go all out. And the question is, do you give up a first-round pick? I would be willing to give up a first-round pick for Deebo Samuel. Now, under one circumstance, I'm not giving up the 4th overall pick. I'm not giving up both picks. If I'm going to give up a first-round pick for Deebo Samuel, it's going to be the 10th overall pick and whatever else the Niners want in the deal in terms of picks, whether that be 2 seconds in the 3rd, whether that be another second and a player, whatever that is, whatever it takes other than giving up 2 first-round picks for the New York Jets to go out and get Deebo Samuel, I'm okay with it. Because we oftentimes look at guys, and it's going to be a short topic because it really comes down to one big thing. When we oftentimes talk about, impacts, big-time impacts, minimal impacts, how much a guy makes an impact when he's out there versus how much he makes an impact when he's not out there. When we talk about those type of players and we talk about game changers, we talk about difference makers, Deebo Samuel checks off all the boxes. Can he take an offense from being really bad like the Jets have been for a long time and completely skyrocket them? Yes, he can. Can he turn a quarterback like Zach Wilson and completely elevate him into a level, into a level of being one of the better ones out there? Yes, he can. Can Deebo Samuel take an offense that is just, like I said, young, kind of up and coming, and can he completely just make them skyrocket? Yes, he can. Can he run? Yes. Can he catch? Yes. Is he a different? Yes. Is he young? Is he up and coming? Is he got a bright future? Yes. Is he good in the locker room? Yes. He checks all the boxes off of a guy you want on a team, on a roster that you're building. And if the opportunity comes available, there should be no excuse for the Jets as to why they shouldn't take the chance on Deebo Samuel. The Jets have to, and Joe Douglas absolutely has to, go out and give it his best shot to get Deebo Samuel. Because Deebo Samuel would be the difference maker the Jets and Zach Wilson needs, just like they would have gotten if they got Tyreek Hill. This time it would be the difference maker Zach Wilson and the Jets need. Whether it's A.J. Brown, Deebo Samuel, DK Metcalf, whoever, that's the difference maker. And Deebo Samuel, in this case, 26 years old, coming off the best year of his career, where he was dominant in the running game and in the receiving game, took a Niners offense that's kind of average and transformed them into transformed that offense into a dynamic offense that had a true, legit weapon. I mean, there's so much to like about Deebo Samuel. Was an MVP candidate last season, took the league by storm, 1,405 receiving yards. Add that to 365 rushing yards, the most ever in his career. I mean, an amazing year last year. And an amazing season. And if I'm the Jets, I'm willing to give up one of the first-round picks. I'm willing to give up the 10th overall pick. I'm not going to give up both, but I'm willing to give up one. If I'm the Jets and I'm Joe Douglas and it becomes available, I'm starting off with the Chiefs deal that you gave Tyreek Hill. And if that deal doesn't work out, I slide in a first. And if they don't like that, maybe you slide in a player. If they don't like that and they want both first, then you back off. But I'm willing to give up a first-round pick, the number 10 overall pick. Let me make that clear. Not 4. Because 4, there could be so many game-changing options there that could really help this team. Not going to do it at 4. There's too many good possibilities that could happen at 4 for the Jets. Not going to do it. But I'm willing to give up 10. And I'm willing to give up both seconds. And maybe if they want to, piece on our roster. Not Elijah Moore, guys like that. But maybe they want to take Mims on a flyer. I'll be okay with it. And, whatever it takes, I'm down for it. Because Deebo Samuel is that difference maker the Jets have been looking for and that they need and haven't had in a really long time. Alrighty, so just look at his stats last season. 77 catches, 1,405 yards. That was 5th in the league. 6 touchdowns, and an average of 18.2 per catch. That's 1st in the NFL. So a big-time playmaker. And like I said, I don't think he's going anywhere. But I do think there is a serious possibility. If he does, the Jets need to go all out. And I do believe that Douglas will try his best. Do I think he's a Jet at the end? Do I think week 1, Deebo Samuel's lining up next to Corey Davis, Elijah Moore, and Braxton Berrios? No, I don't. Would I love it? Yes. If it happened right now, would I scream and be so happy? Yes, I would. Do I think it's going to happen? No. But is it something to keep your eye out for? Yes, it is, definitely. Because the Jets and Joe Douglas definitely showed a true aggressiveness going after Tyreek Hill. Will they do the same for Deebo Samuel? If the Niners and him truly hit a boiling point in contract talks, we'll see. All right, so let's wrap up the podcast today. It was really good to get some football in. I know I've been talking a lot of baseball and stuff. Wanted to get 2 football topics in. A lot going on. And the draft getting closer and closer and closer as we sit here on April 13th. All right, let's finish off the podcast today. We're going to start off with the Pelicans Spurs. I'll take the Pelicans. And then Hawks Hornets. I'll take the Hawks. So I got actually, I apologize. I got the Spurs tonight and the Hawks tonight. I have the Hawks beating the Hornets, and I actually have the Spurs beating the Pelicans. I'm going to take the Spurs and the Hawks. Those are your other two playing games. So the winner of the Hawks Hornets plays the Cavs in Cleveland, and the winner of Spurs Pelicans will play the Clippers in LA. So those are your two other playing games. As for hockey, we got the Canadiens Blue Jackets. I'll take the Blue Jackets. Canadiens Blue Jackets and Avalanche Kings. And the Rangers are back in action tonight. Second half of back-to-back. Rangers come into this one 41-21-6. Flyers come into this one 23-39-11. The over-under set at 6. 7 p.m. Eastern on TNT. I'll take the Rangers with a bounce back. Mets really blew open the doors. Had 4 runs in the top of the 6th. Alonso had a homer. Marte scored. Lindor scored. And Starling Marte had a single that had that had Tomas Nido scored. So Mets really blew open the door. So 8-1 game now for the Mets. Alonso's 3 for 4 with 5 RBIs. Starling Marte's 2 for 4. It's the top of the order. It's the top of the order doing damage. So out of the Mets, 8 hits rather. 7 of them have come from the top of the order. The first 5 batters. Nimmo's got a hit. Lindor has a hit. That's 2. Marte's got 2. That's 4. Alonso's got 3. That's 7. And your other hit that makes it 8 is the 9-hitter Tomas Nido, backup catcher behind James McCann. He had a single today and a run scored. Or he had a hit today and a run scored. I believe it's a single. So, top of the order doing damage for the Mets. Doing a lot of damage for the New York Mets. As they're winning 8-1, so they go for the series win. It looks like unless their bullpen blows a 7-run lead, they blew a 4-run lead on Monday. Unless they blow a 7-run lead today, looks like the Mets are on their way to a series win. So that's kind of what's going on now. Couple other games tonight. Some games that have already concluded. Nationals over the Braves, Pirates over the Cubs, and Dodgers over the Twins. Padres, Giants. A's, Rays, Orioles, Brewers, and Mariners, White Sox. And the Yankees, Blue Jays are back in action tonight. Third game of the 4-game set at Yankee Stadium. Yankees, Blue Jays both at 3-2. Toronto's got Jose Barrios on the mound. Yankees got Garrett Cole, over under set at 8, 7:05 Eastern on MLB Network and Yes Network. So hopefully that game tonight goes well, and hopefully Cole can bounce back and have a good game today. That's the hope. And as for fantasy baseball, then I'll read you the Yankees lineup because they released their lineup. It's pretty basic. It's pretty basic. Kind of what you would expect. As for fantasy baseball, I'm currently winning 260 to 255 in my one league. So winning 260 to I apologize. 260 to 255 in my one league. And I've got some guys going now. Pretty much got my whole roster other than Blackman, Walsh, and Garcia. Whit Merrifield, Tyler O'Neill, and Bobby Witt's games all got postponed. And then by the way, injury update. In my other league. So, my other league, I'm winning 238 to 2. I'm losing 243 to 238. And I actually have an injury update. So Alex Krylov is on the 10-day IL. Twins manager Rocco Baldelli said Wednesday that Krylov will be placed on the 10-day injured list with inflammation in his surgically repaired right wrist. Betsy Helfand of the St. Paul Pioneer Press reports. So he's out. He's on the IL. And hoping to get some better production from my other guys. So that's that. Now let's get to the Yankees lineup because the Yankees just released their lineup just about 10 minutes ago. So let's get to that and then we'll finish off the podcast today. So, all right. So, all right. So it's pretty solid. I mean, it's kind of what you would expect. Couple minor changes here and basically your main thing. Couple minor changes here and there. So it's Rizzo leading off playing first. Judge batting second playing right. Donaldson's the DH batting third. Batting fourth in the cleanup spots, Gallo in the left. LeMahieu batting fifth playing third. Batting sixth, Torres playing second. Batting seventh, Hicks playing center. Batting eighth, Connor Fleffa playing short. And rounding out the order batting ninth is Higgy. And Cole's obviously pitching. So Stan gets the day off today. And then it's Judge in right, Hicks in center, Donaldson in left. Or Gallo in left. Donaldson to DH. And then that allows LeMahieu to be third. So, that's the main change. Stanton not in the lineup. He gets the day off. So, anyway, that will do it. That's your Yankees lineup. Going to go plug that into the scorebook and get ready for tonight's game. Let's see if the Blue Jays put their lineup out. I don't believe so. Blue Jays have not. So, as of now, it's Cole versus Berrios and the Yankees lineup, which I just read. And time to go plug the Yankees lineup into my scorebook and wait for the Blue Jays to release theirs and get ready for the game tonight. So 7:05 Eastern at Yankee Stadium. Yankees looking to get taking Game 3 of the series, and then tomorrow they'll go for the series win. So that'd be very nice for the Yankees. So that will do it for the podcast today. Another good podcast in the books. I will see you all back here, same place tomorrow. See you all back here tomorrow. Hope you enjoyed it, and thanks for watching.